It looks like we're live in our Indiana Pandemic Group. My name is Mandy, and I am with COVID Recovery Iowa, which is a FEMA-funded grant that came about when the pandemic and the derecho were declared disasters. And today I have with me Maria from the Cedar Rapids area, Grantwood AEA. She's going to be talking to us about AEA and a little bit about IEPs, so we understand what those letters stand for and what an IEP does. And Maria, from the Cedar Rapids area, you're familiar with the derecho and the pandemic, of course, as well too. So we'll appreciate your insight with those experiences too. The COVID Recovery Iowa grant is here just to provide that extra emotional support that's oftentimes needed in the event of a disaster. So here we are, and we're glad to have Maria with us to share her knowledge about AEA. So she's going to share her screen a little bit too, which I think will be helpful. So I mentioned she's from the Cedar Rapids area. It's the Grantwood AEA, and but it's divided up into regions all across the state, Maria says. And so the Grantwood area serves several counties. Is that right?
That is right. So first of all, Mandy, thank you for having me on today. It's a pleasure to be here, and hopefully I'll be able to help everybody understand a little bit about area education agencies and what we do. So as Mandy mentioned, AEA stands for Area Education Agency, and there are 9 in the state of Iowa. I'm going to share my screen and, oh wait, hang on just a second. Maybe not. Let me see if I can do this. There we go. Can you see that, Mandy?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay. So there are 9 AEAs in the state. And as Mandy mentioned, I am right here at Grantwood Area Education Agency. And we serve the counties around the Cedar Rapids and Iowa City area. And then you can see the boundaries of all of the other 9 AEAs in our state. And so depending on where you are, and if you wanted to contact your area education agency, you would just go to the district where you reside, and you could see where or which AEA you would want to call. So if you were in Ottumwa, you would call Great Prairie AEA. If you were in Benton County, you would likely call Grantwood Area Education Agency. So I'll stop sharing now and tell you a little bit more about what we do. So,
also, I think
go ahead.
I've been around long enough. I feel like there was an AEA 267.
Yes, there was. And that area education agency merged a number of years ago. And that AEA is now called Central Rivers AEA.
Got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So a number of AEAs have merged over the years, and they've changed names, but our purpose remains the same. We were designed by the Iowa legislature back in 1974. So we've been around for a while, and we provide economical, efficient, and equitable services for all of the schools in our state. So if you think about Iowa, we have a number of larger districts, and we have a number of very rural districts. And the resources that are available in all of our districts aren't the same. But AEAs really work to try and make sure that all of our schools have access to quality services. So no matter what students and teachers need, we're there to provide those services. So, think about a small rural district. They may not need a speech pathologist, for example, full time. And so it's very hard for them to hire someone because they only need them for like a half a day here and there, or half a day a week. We hire those speech language pathologists, and then we send them out into the schools so that that school gets the amount of speech pathology services that their students need. And then that person can serve multiple districts so that everybody in the state has access.
Got it. So speech pathologist, you mentioned, I'm thinking occupational therapy. What else might there be?
I don't know if I'll be able to remember them all,
Oh,
So
that's
we
okay.
have speech pathologists, school social workers, school psychologists, autism consultants,
Huh.
behavior consultants, occupational therapy, physical therapy, special education consultants. So in the arena of special education, we have a variety of experts who go into our schools and provide services right at the student and teacher level. And
Awesome.
then we also have education services. Those services are frequently consultative with our teachers, ensuring that our curriculum is aligned with the Iowa Core. And also there's a huge arm of our agency around professional development for teachers, where we deliver that professional development in the schools, or sometimes teachers will come to us for classes and workshops within the AEA. And so we provide lots of consultative services to make sure that we're delivering research-based tools in all of our classrooms in the state. And then also we have media and technology services where we're ensuring digital literacy in all of our classrooms. So there's a lot of work that happens in the AEAs in our public schools that's a little bit more behind the scenes sometimes that parents may not always know about.
Yeah, I did not know you were so involved in continuing education.
Yeah,
Those
very
teachers.
involved in that.
So I learned one thing already. I didn't know you had autism consultants on staff, which is really cool. So how does somebody, if I'm a parent, well, I don't know, would it be more appropriate to go about it as if I were a parent with a child and I'm talking with the teacher and we're feeling like we need extra help in a certain area? Who makes the phone call, or how does that work? Or
Yeah, good question. So there's a variety of ways that parents access our services. I'll give you the primary two ways. First, if a parent has a child between birth and 3, that they have some concerns about, maybe they're not talking as quickly as maybe some of their friends' children, or they're just noticing something, they're kind of concerned. We have what's called early access services. Those services are free to parents and they're delivered right in the home, because we know that when you've got little ones between the ages of birth and 3, sometimes it's really hard to get out, to go to appointments and find where services are available. And so the AEA has services, and for birth to 3, if you're concerned, call your local area education agency. And they will hook you up with professionals that can talk with you about your concerns and help work through those issues with you. So that's the first way. The second way is if your student is in school, so beyond the age of 3, so 3 to 21, we're in every public school in the state. And if you've got concerns about your child, talk to your child's teacher. They know how to reach us, that if there are concerns, we can then provide those wraparound services and provide special education supports if that's appropriate, right there within the schools. But no matter what, you can always call your local area education agency and we will get you to the people that you need to get to.
so does each AEA have its own website? And then is there like an overall, I'm just thinking about the map you shared, and we should put a link to that website.
We will provide links to you, Mandy, and you can get them out to people who might be viewing this, that will provide phone numbers and addresses, et cetera, for each AEA, so that no matter where you are in the state and you're watching this, you can click that link and you'll be able to figure out who to call if you have a concern.
So 0 to 3, a parent can make that phone call. Well, anybody, you'll take any phone call, I'm sure, but
We will take
zero
any
to
phone
three,
call.
0 to 3, it makes most sense for a parent to make that phone call. And I like that the services are in the home just because that's the kid's environment. And so taking them out of that environment requires all kinds of transition too. And so I think that that's really sounds helpful to me. And then that 4 to all the way up to age 21, you said.
As
That's
long as they're still in school.
okay.
Yep. So it's through graduation, but we have some students who they may take just a little bit longer to
Sure.
complete that graduation. And so we're there with them until the age of 21 or until they graduate.
Okay. Sounds good. And in that age range, it's best for a teacher knows best how to reach you, is what it sounds like. A teacher.
Yeah, because we're so enmeshed in all of the public schools, sometimes, again, we're in the schools, but parents may not know us, but parents know their child's teacher. And
Yeah.
so go to that person, go to the principal, go to whoever you feel comfortable with within your child's school, and they will know how to reach us.
Good. Sounds good. And then IEPs. So how does an IEP tie into all of this? And what does that stand for?
Yes, an IEP stands for Individualized Education Program. And it's simply a document that a student and a family who requires services in special education. It documents what those services are, when they need them, what accommodations and resources that student might need in order to be successful. So it's a rather in-depth kind of document because we really try and lay out what the student's strengths are, the challenges that they might be having, and then what everyone can do in order to support that student during the school day to be successful.
And how does that come about? How does that IEP come about?
Yep. So if someone has concerns about a student, many times it's people who are close to the student. So a parent, maybe a teacher might contact the parent and say, hey, your child maybe seems to be having a little bit of trouble with reading, for example. I'm kind of concerned. Typically then a team of people would gather. So it might be the parent, well, it always is the parent and the child's teacher. And then there could be some AEA staff that might get involved in that meeting. They come together and they talk about it and they look at the data and they say, do we suspect a disability here? Do we think that this student might have a disability that's impacting their performance and how they're doing in school? If the answer to that question is yes, I think there could be a disability here. Area education agency staff, along with the school, would work together to complete an evaluation.
Okay.
And then through the data that's gathered in that evaluation, a decision is made about whether or not the student is eligible to receive special education services. If they are, they would then write an IEP, an individualized education program that outlines what will happen next in order to provide supports to help that student be successful.
Who does the evaluation part, did you say?
Usually it's area education agency staff. So sometimes it's a school psychologist, a school social worker, a special education consultant. There could be a speech language pathologist involved, depending on what the areas of concern are.
Got it.
And they work with the classroom teachers because the teachers are with them every day. And they have a large body of data that typically comes into play in completing the evaluation and then making a decision.
So, and then you utilize the IEP. Is that a functioning document? Is that used kind of as a measuring tool then?
Yes, it's we like to say it's a living, breathing document. And so we write that IEP and it gets updated frequently with progress monitoring data. So whenever we're working with a student, we monitor that progress over time. And if things are going really well, we might change what we're doing in that IEP because the student is improving. If things aren't going well, that data collection shows that. And then we say, hey, this isn't working, what we're doing, we need to change. And so the data guides how we change that IEP over time. And, you know, eventually we always hope that that the student will improve enough that that IEP can go away and that they won't need those services anymore. But that IEP stays in place as long as the student needs it.
Very good. I see we have a handful of people watching live today. I better give the opportunity. If anybody has any questions or comments, I can relay those to Maria this morning. And if you have a question, I can relay it to her after the fact too, if we don't get it put in there today. But anything else that you think would be important for us all to know, for parents to know, for staff helping parents?
I think the main message I would want everyone to know is that your local area education agency is here for you. And, you know, any question that you might have, just call. You know, these are kind of interesting times, and it sometimes can be very confusing to know exactly what to do to help your child or your student. And the AEA is here for you to help. So,
Yeah, and
so contact us. We're always here.
you've worked with a lot of people with a lot of different needs. And so I think that if you are wondering as a parent or have questions, it just seems like call and, you know, you either get reassured or get the help you need to move forward. It sounds like to me. So yeah, when in doubt, call.
Absolutely.
I don't see any questions or comments here today. There might be some more that show up, but I will email those to you, Maria, if they do. But thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yep, you have a good rest of your day.
All right. Take care. Thank you.